Okay, I'd like to, are we recording? Okay,
Are we unmuted?
all right, good. All right, thanks for being here, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to Thursday, July 18th, 2024 voting meeting. Start off, I'd like to call it to order and do a flag salute and a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty, so before we start, I'd like to,
Thank you.
I'd like to make an announcement that today at 6 p.m., we had a executive session regarding legal issues. Okay. All right, so first of all, presentations.
Roll call. right?
Oh, yeah, we need roll call. Yeah, my bad. Thank you.
Dr. Baldino,
Here.
Mr. Piana,
Here.
Ms. Donahue,
I'm not, did she just say my name?
Yeah, she did, Paulie.
Yes, it's hard to hear you. Sorry.
Mr. Elling,
Present.
Mr. Johnson,
Here.
Mr. Knopf,
Mr.
Mr.
Knopf, are
Knopf.
you here?
Must be taking care of us.
Yes,
Okay. Thank you.
Ms. Lynch,
I'm trying. I don't like this Zoom crap.
Ms. Lynch,
Yes.
Mr. Scott,
Here,
Ms. Smith. Here. 8 members present.
There's 9 of us.
Oh, 9, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay. I was like, what?
Counting myself.
Yeah, I'm like. All right, so, next up, we have presentations. None? Okay, next, let's get to, hearing of the visitors. Do we have anybody signed up?
No.
Nobody signed up? Okay, let's move to superintendent's report.
I don't have
There is
anything
none.
Official, but just a couple of quick notes. Or a quick note, we made some changes to the website. So that to try to make things a little more transparent. If you're having any issues logging on or have trouble finding things because things have shifted, let us know. We'll help you get back on track with things. So we're trying to make things a little more transparent, easy for our public to navigate.
Okay. Now, before we go any further into the agenda, I would like to request a motion for a legal issue that we discussed
I'll make
earlier.
that.
I'd like to actually add this to the agenda.
I'll make that motion that we add to the agenda.
Okay,
I'll second that.
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Signify
Aye.
aye. Opposed? Okay. We will be adding that into the agenda here later. All right, so number 20, okay. All right, so next, we have the reports. Any questions? Or did we have any committee meetings since we've been met last week?
No.
No?
No.
All right. Okay, next thing, financial reports. Any questions on that? Go ahead.
Yes, and it's totally understandable. Report F4, the request, and it's understandable, there wasn't enough time, it's not an issue. But I won't be approving F4 because of the format. So I don't want to approve it, so it becomes standard issue.
F4 is not a voting item, it's just information.
It says information.
No, I understand that, but if we say we're gonna pull something out, or if we say we're gonna jumble everything together, it makes it look like we're approving the format.
We don't vote on section F, so we're not approving.
Okay, so
Anything.
that's, okay,
But
Right.
your comment from last meeting was heard and understood,
sure,
but we just haven't had time
Of
to
course.
make a different format.
totally
So-
understand,
So we
Right.
understand.
not a problem.
And by you stating it again here tonight, everybody understands what's going on. So,
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
I got one question on F4.
yes, sir.
Under the bills to payment, there's a section number 39 for Liberty Curtain that is not added into the expenditure reports for Liberty Curtain. I know that's a long way to go. We're not there yet, but they should be listed in the Liberty Curtain expenditure reports, not on the bills for payment. We should see it.
Which item are you looking, I'm sorry, Chris?
If you go down under the bills for payment,
Right,
go to page 19 and it's number 39. There's a whole different bunch of bills there that should be listed with the Liberty Curtain thing, and they're not. It's probably just an oversight, but we need to get that added in, is all I'm saying.
okay, so that brings, if I may,
Go ahead, Elizabeth.
that brings up an interesting point. Thank you, Chris, because Dr. Redmond and however administration, when would the new format, the new list for Liberty Curtain be updated? Would it be updated after we approve the bill? Or would it go on to the spreadsheet as pending, however you decide? So I do see what you're saying, Chris. So that's sort of like a gray area. We're not, however it's
Well-
decided.
What, okay, so either way, even if it was on the other, on the way you have the payment, we have the payments out separated for Liberty Curtain,
Mhm.
okay? You pointed that out. We'll look at having that
Yeah.
taken care of for the next time. But either way, we would have been voting for these to go through.
Right,
anyhow.
I'm just
So,
making it so that it's
No.
all up on one report.
okay,
That's how things get lost.
okay. Anything else?
I'll
I
make a
would say-
motion that we approve F1 through 4 then.
We don't vote on those.
No.
They're only information. items.
Yeah,
Sorry, you're
those,
right.
yeah, so, all right. So. Okay, so, board information. With the MOU, any questions?
No,
Make a motion, we approve the MOU.
I'll second it.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Mr. Vice President.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion that we pass the entire agenda with the exception of whatever items and individual items that anybody would like to exclude for separate consideration.
Okay. Can I get a second on that?
I'll second that.
All right. Too slow, Butch.
I can't even figure out how to unmute this thing.
We need to discuss both under H.
All right. Both policies,
Yep,
okay,
we need to discuss.
so you'd like to pull
I'd like to
H1
pull
and 2,
H.
okay?
Under business, I'd like to discuss number 5, pull number 5. On news story. I'd like to pull number 15. The character strong. And pull number 18 under Nittany Learning Services.
Easy version.
Mr. Vice President,
Yes, sir.
if I recall from last week, wasn't there a couple of the policies they wanted to table?
That's why. I
That's a
pulled
20.
that.
Yeah, yes, and that's why they're pulling it so they can table.
Okay, I can't get the list of agenda items up in front of me. I'm sorry. I'll shut back up.
it. You're good. Okay. So. All right, anything else?
Yeah, we got a full number two. Bill payment. Business two.
Okay, that's fine. All right. Did you get that, Jeff?
2, 5,
Yes.
15, and 18, right?
J
2,
two.
5, 15, and 18,
Mhm.
and then H1 and 2.
5,
I have H1, H2, J5, 15, 18, or 2, 5, 8,
15 and 18.
15
yeah.
and 18. 15 and 18.
Okay, and then I would like to have, instead of, what is it? I'd like to have number 20. I'd like to have the motion actually read in separately. Yeah. So, all right. So with those exceptions that have been pulled, I'd like to,
Could we do that one first to get that out of the way?
would you like to do that
J20?
first?
If nobody has
I'd
any
be good with
objection to that.
Okay, let's go ahead. Do the new one.
Yeah, J20.
Yeah, so if you want to go ahead and read that, Jeff, that way we can actually,
Okay, item J20 reads as follows. Move this on July 18th, 2024, the Keystone Central Board of Education agreed to waive the 30-day period to permit student one who was previously identified to the board to receive their education at DTAC, which is the Diversified Treatment Alternative Center in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Should student one not be accepted into DTAC, student one is able to attend the Keystone Central School District Online Virtual Learning Academy. They will not be permitted to come onto the KCSD campus during the 24-25 school year. So I would like to make that as a motion J20.
do I have a second?
I'll
We still
second
have to
that.
vote on that previous motion. To omnibus everything through except for those.
Okay, that, well, here's the thing though, this was being added in, so we'll do this one, and then whenever we do that, this is to get it actually put on.
I'm sorry.
The first one was
This
to
is to add, it,
amend the agenda.
This
This is to add to the agenda.
just to add this as
So,
an
got
additional
it.
item.
All right. So Tracy, you said you seconded it? Okay. Jeff. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, those opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay, now that that's been added in, okay, to the agenda. I have a motion to move everything except what has been specifically removed. Is there a second on that?
I second.
You seconded it? Okay. In that case, all those in favor of moving the agenda signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Okay. Correct.
18.
Okay, so. Jeff,
Okay.
would you make the motions, please?
We'll start with H1. You want to do them together, H1 and
Just
H2?
do them both together.
Okay. I will make a motion for items H1 and H2 to be tabled for further consideration by the policy committee.
I second it.
Okay. All those in favor of tabling the or the policies signify by
Roger,
saying
can I make a statement before you do the vote?
absolutely.
The only thing I'm going to request in the future, that the policy committee do a more diligent job of going through the policies, looking at the policies, recommending them for first vote before they get the second vote. I think we have to take our time and look them over a little bit more careful, I guess, so we don't keep tabling them. So that's all.
Okay, thank you. Okay, any other comments? Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. Okay,
All right, next we have J2. I make a motion that we approve J2 bills for payment.
I second that.
okay.
And I have a question. on
Discussion?
that. Yes, I have a question on that.
Okay.
On Page 1,
Talk into your microphone, will you?
on page 1, 3/4 of the way down the page. Ukrainian family gas
Oh,
cards
okay.
for sheets for $600.
Yeah, we talked about that on the
That
the
was-
work session. It's a support for a family that is considered homeless. And this is something that is often done for homeless families, is they're given a gas card to get them to and from school. Yeah, it's through the homeless grants. It's not,
Which is through the ESSER, which is also federal money, not
Okay.
district money.
Why is it labeled Ukrainian family?
it should just be family, quite honestly.
Because
It should be homeless family and not, it shouldn't identify.
it
an
says
ethnicity.
homeless in the middle, but
Yep.
on the end, it says Ukrainian family gas cards for
Yeah, yeah,
$600.
I agree that we should not have an ethnicity marked on there.
No, well, that also, but there's no sheet store in Ukraine.
They're in the,
Well, it is,
They were-
So that makes
they're
it
coming
sound
through
like
the
you're,
district.
that makes it sound like you are sending it to a family in another country.
it should be edited. It
we are not sending that money there.
But I'm saying, when I read that, that's what I,
No, okay,
because of how it says, Ukrainian family gas cards.
okay. So
Is there a way we could edit that? So when we make the
mean, it just-
motion, just so it's.
actually, honestly, it
does.
should just say,
It should have been left at homeless.
homeless family.
Yes.
card. That's it.
We
Exactly.
had, we had quite a discussion on that in the work session.
Well, I wasn't able to
I
see
know.
that video.
Oh,
Well, can't that be edited after the fact?
No, it didn't come out till noon today.
No, I'm saying after the fact. I mean, it's not going to change
Yep,
anything.
we can edit that out.
Okay,
I mean, it's not a substantive change. We're not changing the
Yeah.
bills. We're not. I mean,
No.
all we're
All
just
right.
changing word on
Because-
there. That's easy enough.
all right. So,
thanks, Tom.
I just saw it and. I
No, you're
mean,
right. You're
for
right. We should have done. that
yeah,
before.
Any
we
other
should have
person
done that
that
prior
didn't
to
know it?
this, so. All right,
No backstory?
what's that?
I say for somebody that doesn't know a backstory on that, that's exactly how it gets interpreted.
Sure.
Because I didn't hear any of this,
Right, okay.
so.
So in the future, we'll just put homeless family or something
I
along that
didn't know
line.
that we did that anyways, but that's okay.
Yeah, we do. Okay, so I've got a motion for that. Do I have a second? Okay,
It's already been seconded.
any other discussion? No? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, motion passes.
All right, next, J5. I make a motion, we approve the new story agreement.
Second that.
Okay, motion is made and duly seconded. Discussion,
On number 5,
yes.
J5.
That's the one that you wanted to.
that's the one I want to discuss.
Yeah.
I have a question on it.
Go ahead.
If you go down to amendum A, it says the following are related service news story provides at school. Occupational therapy, speech therapy, behavior consultation, individual counseling, group counseling, crisis intervention. Those are the same 6 items that you sent us, Dr. Redmond, on the 3 videos that said we had to have that in school.
Tell me where you're looking on this, on the agreement.
On addendum A, it says that those 6 items had to be in the videos. It said we had to have those 6 items established to do our own AEDY counseling.
Correct.
Okay, if we're paying for this and it's gonna be provided here at school, why can't we do our own AEDY counseling? Because we're already paying for these services.
It would take us, we're not an established AEDY, and New Story is not an established, I don't think, it's not the AEDY, or they're a private school. So it's,
Okay.
they do similar things, but it's a different entity. It's not, this, New Story is not an AEDY.
Okay, I was just curious, that's all.
Okay, any other comments or questions?
So it happens here in the building or the students? I forgot. I'm so sorry. I'm
I
so
guess
sorry.
this goes to their own school.
So New Story is a private, approved private program. And our students have to have an IEP and meet certain criteria in order to be accepted into that program. And so those related services that they receive that you just read are services that they have to receive there that we would then pay for because that's part of their educational program stated in their IEP.
But isn't that the same stuff they have to provide for an AEDY program?
Right, but they're
Yes.
different. So New Story is an approved private education facility. And you have to have an IEP and meet certain criteria to get in there. For alternative education for disruptive youth, which is your AEDY program, you have to meet one of the 6 criteria to get in, but you do not have to have an IEP in order to attend one of those programs.
Okay,
So this takes place cyber or is this
No, it is a physical building that's in State College.
State College? That was the one. Okay, thank you. Appreciate the update.
Any other comments?
A reminder.
Okay, this has been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
All right,
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Next,
okay. Next is J15, the Character Strong program. I'll make a motion that we approve the Character Strong program.
I second that.
okay. Any comments or anything
Yes.
to be saying there?
I did quite a bit of research on this program. And I, for one, there's so much controversy, even a lawsuit involving it. Here in Pennsylvania, Character Strong is packaged as an SEL social emotional learning program to make it easier for schools to comply. This program is integrated into every grade, and it's an experimental program for school settings. So essentially, your kids are a guinea pig for this product, the students. And that comes off the Character Strong website. Okay? What is wrong with social emotional learning? Time spent on SEL, and I'm reading what I have here is copied and pasted off of multiple Google websites. it's time, precious learning time taken away from students. It'll be used to shape a student's attitude, values, and belief without their parents' knowledge or consent through classroom discussion. It is also a proven fact that grades tend to go down when kids are involved in this because they're spending less time from the normal studies that happen. Because those classes are shortened to belong to this. I'm not gonna read all the stuff in here because there's a lot of names. SEL, which will be used to introduce topics covertly without parents' knowledge and approval. On average, school scores drop because taking time away from normal education classes to install this type of learning.
Where you, can I ask a question? Where are you getting all this information?
I Googled it off a Character Strong page and the SEL page.
It's right there on their website, huh?
Yes.
It doesn't say that on the Character Strong website.
The first part of what I read does.
Well, where's the rest of it coming from?
It's different Google sites.
How do we know that they're legitimate?
Well, with
I
all the
mean,
lawsuits.
I'm just
and-
asking the question. I mean, I can Google anything.
Can I finish what I was doing?
Yeah,
I think I had the
Go
floor.
ahead.
It's been stated by multiple entities in Arizona that SEL is a gateway method to introduce, excuse me, elements of the CRT, which is critical race theory, into schools. CASEL, which is an organization collaborative for social emotional learning, admits SEL is used to administer CRT propaganda. I, for one, don't think that we need this in our school. I've talked to a few preachers, pastors on this agenda, and one of them even told me that at first he thought it was a great thing till he got into it and learned that it is an open door to the SEL, which is an open door to the CRT. And all three pastors that I discussed it with asked me to discuss it because they feel it's very detrimental to the students.
Okay.
We do have a presentation that talks a little bit more about Character Strong and what social emotional learning is and the benefit it provides to students. So with Chair's permission, we have the.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Christina, go ahead.
No pressure.
I did some quick 10-minute research and got all this stuff up on it.
No, that's okay. So I just want to start by saying that though we didn't follow the traditional review through the co-curricular committee, when we were tasked to look at our current program that we have, which we currently run Second Step K-8, and we've ran it forever here. I don't know the full duration. But we were looking at whether or not we continue with that program or we explore others, and we explored 4 in total. And when we were told that we had monies in the budget through our PCCD monies, our extra monies, because you can only spend those monies on certain items. And even within those certain items, there's a step process that you have to have it in some buildings and all buildings before you can move on and spend it elsewhere. So in about December, January, I was told that we could begin looking at furthering developing our social emotional wellness curriculum, which, like I said, we have Second Step currently. And so going through and vetting through second step further because they now have a pilot high school program, 7 Mindsets and School Connect along with Character Strong. Our group felt like this was the best option for our students. So till we were able to get with the reps and get all of that information, get our passwords and temporary logins so that people could explore it and pilot it further so we could get a larger audience eyes on it. It was in the spring. And when you come back February, March, April, May, you have Keystones and PSSAs, and it's kind of a crazy time. So till we got teachers volunteering to implement a lesson or two with their students, it was in May, and the last co-curricular meeting was in May. So that's why, and you haven't met since. So that's why I didn't bring this forth then. But the end of our PCD money for this grant has to be spent by the end of July.
Of this year.
Yes. So that's why I'm not trying to be sneaky. I just wanted to be fully transparent of the timeline. It wasn't something that we were looking at like a year ago. So our group,
Then there's no reason to rush it. Even though you're saying it has to be done in July,
well, then we have to give back those monies.
So
then
that's
so
$35,000.
be it.
We
And so be
Yeah.
it.
Well,
I'll wait my
Mary, I would
turn.
like to.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
Please.
go ahead.
let her go ahead and continue and then
Thank you.
we'll discuss.
So SEL, I think we have differing views on what SEL is and what it isn't. So I thought this would be the best option to kind of give you that quick overview of the 5 competencies that they talk about. And go ahead, Ed.
There's a lot of talk these days about SEL, social emotional learning. But what exactly is it? Social emotional learning is the process of learning social and emotional skills, and it's just as important as learning reading or math. This learning process is most effective when it begins early and continues through high school. Social emotional skills are essential for success in school, work, and life. With SEL, students learn to manage their own emotions and behaviors, have empathy and show care and concern for others, solve problems effectively, make responsible decisions, and maintain healthy relationships. Students learn to recognize what's happening inside them and to be aware of their emotions, which helps them deal with strong emotions and impulsive behaviors. It helps them stop, take a breath, and think about a situation before acting. Students learn to identify others' emotions and perspectives, which helps them empathize and show compassion, no matter who they are or what their background is. It's not difficult to imagine how this is important in the classroom and in life. Students learn to solve problems in peaceful ways and communicate assertively about what they need or want. This helps them get along with other students and get the help they need from adults. When students learn to make responsible decisions about their lives and their future, things can turn out better. Research shows social emotional learning makes a difference. Students who participate in SEL do better academically, have improved attitudes and behaviors, and act in delinquent or disruptive ways less often. In the United States, students with strong social emotional competence are twice as likely to earn a college degree and nearly 50% more likely to graduate from high school and have a full-time job by age 25. Just as important, students who are socially and emotionally competent have more friends. This means they're more likely to feel connected to school and do well, and less likely to be left out or bullied. Simply put, by participating in social emotional learning, students learn the skills to succeed in every facet of school and the rest of their lives.
So then with that, we have developed our profile of a learner, and all of those skills that are made up of your 5 competencies support everything that we would like our students to leave us with. So this is a wheel that I showed you during our presentation. And that dark blue wheel is the curriculum and instruction that happens at that tier 1 level, which is supposed to happen, yep, K all the way through. So we're recommending that this program happen this year, K9. So I'm not going to go all the way through high school, but would like to kind of develop the high school experience at the 9th grade level, which they've all experienced second step through the middle school. And you can see there all of your core competencies that would be addressed: your self-awareness, your self-management, your responsible decision-making, your relationship skills, and your social awareness. All of those also relate directly into our PA career readiness, our mental health, the student-centered approach to discipline. It ties into PBIS, those components that we're already doing. And with your concern of giving up valuable academic time, we have a win period, what I need, that is built in all the way elementary through high school. So that time is already carved out. And so these lessons would fit very nicely in there. And then all of those skills that they're learning then can be reinforced by the classroom teachers throughout the school day, throughout the week. So why we chose Character Strong and not sticking with second step right here, it is a very engaging curriculum. It's very easy to navigate. It is online. It's engaging. It allows a variety of different activities for them to choose from. There's videos, there's journal prompts, there's whole group, there's small group discussions, there's a variety of games. And it's something that the class can choose as they go through it. You know, how do you want to go through this today? You know, we want to play a game, or we want to watch this video. And in the videos, there's students or their peers that are their own age. So it's relatable. And our own teachers found it super easy to navigate through and implement. And again, they're comparing what they've done with second step. And they feel that it becomes in a more mature format. So in second step, there's like a little green goblin that kind of comes through, and they feel it's very antiquated. And they really like that these are real life kids, age appropriate, that are acting as good mentors for them as well. And so they can see what it looks like and what it sounds like by somebody their own age. So in the packet that I shared with you all the other week, the elementary curriculum is called Purposeful People. And here's a little clip just about that program to give you an idea.
Hello, my name is Julie. Welcome to Character Strong's Purposeful People. We're a pre-K through 5th grade curriculum designed to teach and integrate social skills, emotion regulation skills, and character development. We do this by starting with the foundational character traits you see here along the bottom. We combine those, teach them alongside skills like pro-social behaviors, executive functioning, and emotion regulation skills. All of this is designed to lead students to these 3 outcomes: be kind, be strong, and be well. Here on our curriculum site, I can see 9 character traits at my fingertips. I can click into one and see a month's worth of lessons right here in front of me, starting with a staff challenge, a family focus. We believe in partnering with families. I can even download a newsletter right here to send home. And then I've got 5 activities that I can use throughout every single week. I've got a start activity, a connect activity to help build relationships and a strong classroom culture. This grow lesson is a chance to dive deeper into those skills like conflict resolution or executive functioning. Respond section allows me to choose from a brain booster, a mindful moment, or a series of circle prompts every week. And then finally, an exit activity helps me thoughtfully reflect on the learning and a challenge to take that learning with me. and click into campus resources and show you 9 pages full of strategies to help you take this learning campus wide. I've got implementation supports, getting started videos, even an overview for your staff. This additional tools page is full of resources for download, including boarding announcements and student recognition tools. I've also got libraries, like a video library, a music playlist library, and of course, a book library. Staff pages, family pages, even resources for the playground. We've truly thought of everything. We hope you will join us for a demo where you can dive deeper into all of this and more, or you could book a call to find out how you can bring this to your campus or district. We can't.
So with that, there is that family component as well. So there's the newsletter, but really we want these children to learn these skills and practice these skills and take them at home to generalize them in the home setting and to use them within the community as well. So it is something where the parents will know what the lessons are, and they can, talk to their child about it and ask them about it, see what about, they could go to that parent page and check out the resources there. So again, for middle school, I have a clip for you, but there they offer, and one of the cool parts, I guess, too, for the elementary component is they can do school-wide monthly challenges because there's enough activities where they can all be practicing the same skill. And it's going to look different at each grade level because of how they're developing. So, but the premise of the skills are the same. So again, it also helps build that school community and that positive climate and culture. So in the middle school, they have school-wide challenges that they can issue against one another to create that positive school-wide culture and climate. But that is something that, again, you'll hear that they have a variety of lessons for them to choose from.
Welcome. My name is Brandon and I'm the Director of Secondary Education here at Character Strong, and I'm going to be giving you a really quick tour around our middle school social emotional learning curriculum. As a former secondary teacher and principal, I know that educators and counselors just do not have the time to create material for every grade level, which is why these lessons are designed to be plug and play. I also know that challenging behavior, struggling attendance, and student well-being are real problems educators face on a daily basis. The research shows that implementing Character Strong with fidelity can increase well-being, a sense of belonging, and student engagement. The curriculum is vertically aligned K through 12th grade, and students will never repeat a lesson. Because the lessons were designed by a team of over 25 educators along with a student advisory board, you'll find the lessons are actually engaging and relevant to today's students and require very little prep before having to deliver the lessons. We know that in middle school, there's a lot to cover when it comes to high school and even career readiness, which is why we've created multiple lesson combinations to serve a school that might have time for 35 lessons in a year, but also creates a pathway for schools that can only do 25 lessons in a year. Each lesson begins with connection games. These are moments that allow students to learn more about each other, see their similarities while appreciating their differences, and build relationships with their peers and educators. The connection games are also a fun and engaging way to kick off a lesson. The content portion of each lesson focuses on bringing forward videos, dialogue, and experiential learning with student voice at its center. It's where we teach the skills that help support the outcomes of well-being, belonging, and engagement. Each lesson has a core focus centered on life readiness skills and then wraps with a character dare challenge. These challenges provide specific ways for students to put values like patience, kindness, and respectfulness into action. Research shows that by spending even a few minutes each week allowing students to connect with one another while learning critical life skills like problem solving and conflict resolution will lead to an increased sense of belonging and well-being while fostering improved student engagement, post-secondary readiness, and overall life satisfaction. If you want to learn more about these lessons and what they look like, download.
All right. So then included in our curriculum is the high school curriculum. And they also have resources. That's it. Typo. They have monthly they have the challenges, the character challenges too. And here should be their quick demo of high school.
Welcome. My name is Brandon and I'm the Director of Secondary Education here at Character Strong, and I'm going to give you a really quick tour around our high school social emotional learning curriculum. As a former high school teacher and school principal, I know that educators and counselors do not have the time to create and prep individual lessons for every grade level, which is why the lessons are designed to be plug and play. I also know that challenging behavior, struggling attendance, and student well-being are real problems educators face on a daily basis. The research shows that implementing Character Strong with fidelity can increase well-being, a sense of belonging, and student engagement. The curriculum is vertically aligned K through 12th grade, and students will never repeat a lesson. Because the lessons were designed by a team of over 25 educators along with the student advisory board, you'll find the lessons are actually engaging and relevant to today's students and require very little prep before having to deliver the lessons. We know that in high school there's a lot to cover when it comes to post-high school readiness, which is why we've created multiple lesson combinations to serve a school that might have time for 25 lessons in a year, but also a pathway for schools that can only do 15 lessons. Each lesson begins with a connection game. These are moments that allow students to learn more about each other, see similarities, and build relationships with their peers and educators. Even though they might see this as just a game, it goes much deeper than that. As students learn each other's names and connect, they discover that they might have more in common with one another than they first realized. It also provides an engaging way to kick off the lessons. The content portion of each lesson focuses on bringing forward videos, dialogue, and experiential learning with student voice at its center. It's where we teach the skills that help support outcomes of well-being, belonging, and engagement. Along with the connection games and lesson content, each lesson has a core focus centering on life readiness skills and then wraps up with the To Be challenge. These challenges provide specific ways for students to prioritize not just their to-do list each day, but also a really specific way to focus on who they want to be as humans. Some weeks this might be focusing on being more patient, kind, respectful. Research shows that by spending even a few minutes each week, allowing students to connect with one another, learn critical life skills like problem solving and goal setting, and then fundamental outcomes like increasing belonging, well-being, engagement, will create post-secondary readiness and overall life satisfaction for our students. If you want to learn more about what these lessons look like, download some samples, book a call.
So the other part that is in the quote is the tier 2 part. And if you remember from our MTSS triangle, so we have tier 1, which is green, which we want to have the majority of our students. Tier 2 is that 15% of students who just need a little bit more. And these are the 4 areas that the tier 2 lessons dive deeper into. More of coping, regulation, relationships, and self-management. So there are specific lessons that are created for elementary grades, middle school, and high school. And so that would allow our counselors and our interventionists to also kind of get in there and provide them additional targeted interventions that hopefully will also help improve their behavior at a more frequent, rapid rate, which will also allow them to be more accessible to learning more as they go through, because they have now learning how to manage their emotions and make better decisions. So that is the second part that was in that quote. And my final slide for you that I'm going to cover tonight is just why do we need it in our schools? And these 3 points, I think they speak for themselves alone, but also our mission, our KCSD mission. We are committed to developing lifelong learners who are adaptable, resilient, productive, and of high moral character, preparing citizens for the challenges of opportunities of the future. And everything that I have ever seen or heard or implemented with this program does just that, nothing beyond that. And following these slides is the data that I provided you in my packet to you before, just so you have that to reference of what our teachers truly said about it, what our students said about it, and how they felt that it was valuable. But you've already seen that. You haven't seen this, so I want to leave you with one final thought. Oh. Hit the tap here.
Well, my school culture before Character Strong, it was a challenging environment. How you doing? How you doing? Good, nice to see you. Good to see you. A lot of discipline issues, attendance issues, academic issues.
What else stands out to you guys about those two pictures?
We have a survey that we do in our school district, and it started identifying some areas that our students were showing us, telling us that we needed support in. They needed support with feeling like they belong. That was a real gap in our survey, showed that our kids didn't feel like they belong here. And then another one was conflict resolution. Before Character Strong, we were dealing with a lot of fights, a lot of kids just kind of going at each other for whatever reason. We're not the society where communities were a village anymore. People don't even speak to their neighbors anymore. It's just not the same way, and so we have to do a lot more social emotional work than we used to. It's that village is not there, so we have to create it in our building. That's the community that Character Strong helps build, and then it extends out into the community. 30,000 kids are receiving Character Strong lessons all over the city now, because they know that that's going to stem their time. It's going to get our schools back to a point where teachers can teach and kids can learn again. And I just believe that this is the work. If you really want to get your academic achievement up, you got to get the culture there. That's our job.
I wanted to leave you with that because our student data and our teacher data from the end of the year reports that we do receive talk about just that. Students don't feel like they belong. Teachers are struggling to teach because of the behaviors. And so how do you improve your culture? And again, it's not one entity, but in combination with the PBIS that we already are implementing, and being very intentional about doing this program with Fidelity, K-9, and then hopefully we can grow it into the higher grades at the high school, because it is very much age appropriate. So I know one of the big arguments is this is something that has to happen at home, and I would love for it to happen at home, but that's not really a thing anymore. He's not wrong. There isn't that communal village helping to hold your kids accountable. And so I think that's why then we are charged with how do we teach respect and kindness and empathy, and positive decision making to our kids, who will then go out into our community and hopefully be successful citizens and community members. So that's why I wanted to offer you this. Yes.
Do the parents have the choice to opt out of this program for their kids?
Right now with Second Step, they do not. It's part of our curriculum. And so everybody gets it tier 1. There is the parent communication. And I think if this would be something that if it were be passed, and that would be something that maybe we could discuss. But again, I don't have a yes or no to that right now.
Okay, because
Yeah.
yes, West Shore, Pennsylvania School District lost a lawsuit.
No, they didn't lose the lawsuit. There was a settlement.
Okay, there was a settlement on it. But the bottom line is, the parents were not allowed to opt their kids out of it. And it had to all be changed because of that, which cost money with a lawsuit, and it had to come to it, like Bill said, it had to come to a settlement. This all shows the pros. What's the cons of it? Is SEL an open door to CRT?
Absolutely not.
Can you guarantee that?
Yeah.
There,
No
there
one-
isn't,
Excuse me. I mean, I feel very strongly about this.
Yes.
If in any course, no matter what you call it, if it is implied in any way that one race is superior to another or is exploiting another, that's just absolutely unacceptable.
No.
And this is a way to do it, this kind of a program. And well. Go
the
ahead.
answer to that is no. We have access to all of the lessons, so you can go in and preview them. No, none of those lessons talk about anything like that. They're all about those 5 competencies that you have seen. So there's nothing in here that says one race is superior to the other, or that we encourage you to become bisexual or a furry or anything like that. That doesn't promote anything
That
to that
screen,
nature.
that screen right there says support the mission of KCSD and what our stakeholders value.
Our stakeholders value our mission, which is below.
Okay, no, our stakeholders are our public or our parents, correct?
Mhm.
Can we send out a letter asking their thoughts on this? Because this program, right or wrong, has stirred up controversy nationwide. The state of Arizona is looking at things. Montana's looking at things. PA is even looking at it. I'm not saying it's good, bad, or indifferent, but there's so much controversy. How much have we really looked into?
And I think there's a lot of controversy too, because you have just polarizing views of where we are today as a society.
Yeah.
So,
This quote here from Penline, it's from the Carlisle, it's to do with the Carlisle School Board, which was the Wilson Middle School. The Character Strong program has been the subject of controversy in other school districts, as some groups have conflated its teachings with broader national debates about how or even if issues like race, sexual orientation, or gender identification should be addressed in public schools. That's a quote right from Penline. You can look it up.
Yeah.
How is that? That goes against everything that you're saying.
So Tom, what the quote, if I heard it right, was that there's controversy because some people are conflating it.
In
which
other
isn't
school
necessarily the
districts,
same thing as that those accusations are true.
Okay.
it doesn't mean they're true. It doesn't mean they're false.
True, it means that people are bringing it
But-
up because they think it's true,
But
which happens a lot.
Can we send
why
out
is
a
it,
question?
why is it the schools district's interest to teach anything to do with race, sexual orientation?
This
We're
has
not.
absolutely nothing to
Christina just
do
said
with it.
it's not in
Does
there.
it or doesn't it?
It does
It does
not.
not.
You mean to tell me that
Because-
you're opposed to teaching kids respect, kindness, empathy, to try and make them feel like they're a part of the school? I mean,
And I'm
that's a
not opposed
basic.
to teaching them to be individuals either.
well, this allows them to be an individual. I mean,
If
you
you-
can be an individual and you can feel one way, but it also helps you like understand how do you express yourself in a way that isn't going to like cause you to go up and punch somebody in the face or to start swearing at them in response. So it does allow you to kind of stop and think, and it teaches you alternate skills of how you can express yourself. Doesn't say you can't express yourself, but you also can't go to the work setting and get angry and punch your boss or swear at your boss. I mean, you can, and it happens, but those people get fired. And so it all aligns to what kind of member do you want in your community as well? But
Selves. Stand up for themselves, not cower down to the cause.
well, this doesn't promote that.
What's the cost?
Okay, the cost for the, okay, here's the thing. The cost for the program is, I believe it's 46,000,
No,
or hold
it's
it,
$42,465.99.
yeah, that's what I'm seeing, four,
Yeah, 'cause
six,
she
seven,
had to have
seven,
the
four.
tax
The
removed.
tax is removed.
Yeah, the tax was.
It was removed on this.
And the training. What did you have?
It's $46,774.
That's what's on the agenda.
Then you don't have the new one. I have $42,465.
Yeah, the date on this one is May 21st. But,
Okay, so what we're looking at doing is looking at approving the purchase of this. Now, the way I understand it, and it's been explained to me, is that this money, okay, is coming through a grant, okay, that we need to utilize, which means, and then whatever's not covered under that grant is coming out of ESSER funds. Is that correct?
Correct.
So therefore, there is no money coming out of the general fund for this. This is all federal
This
money.
doesn't have
that-
nothing to do with money for me.
Okay, I understand that. I understand that, okay? If we decide to pass this through, okay? To get this, okay, we would be able to get this in essence for free because it's through a grant, correct?
Correct.
At that point, then we could actually take a in-depth look at what's going on with this program, correct?
Correct.
And does this have to be implemented right away?
No, well, training has to happen with staff first.
Okay,
And then if it is the board's wish to collect feedback from parents prior to implementation, you would have that opportunity to do that prior to starting.
okay.
Um,
But
but-
if we don't vote to purchase it today, we lose all of that money that would actually be allowing us to get this. And later on, we would, if we decide that we do want to do this, we would end up paying this, well, you said 42, but we have 46.
Can I ask you a question on this?
Yes, go ahead.
Exactly with what you're going in line with what you're saying. We take this grant, we purchase this, we are obligated at that point to implement it, correct? Because we used federal money to buy it. They're gonna want to know why we aren't using it if we bought it.
So we have it. And at the very, I would say probably at the very least, you could still implement your tier 2 level of supports with your small groups.
But if you chose to not implement anything after you purchased it, you have to.
If we did it, would we be able to do a pilot program in the
they've already-
school first?
They already did that, I think.
Yeah, we did that.
Roger.
But you could, I mean, if that was the wish of the board. But I think Chris has a question.
Go ahead, Chris.
Are you familiar with the Cassell
Castle?
Castle?
Yeah, that's where the wheel came from.
Okay, because Castle says social emotional learning and CRT. Many schools use social emotional learning, SEL, as part of the regular curriculum. This is wrong for a number of reasons. SEL is a gateway method, a Trojan horse to introduce the elements of CRT into the schools. Classrooms need to be a place where students learn how to read, write, do math, and understand history and the arts. According to the Collaborative for Social Emotional Learning, CASEL, in the context of SEL, equity and excellence refers to every student across race, ethnicity, family income levels, learning abilities, home language, immigration status, gender identity, sexual orientation, and other factors. That is on CASEL.org. In what ways does SEL advance equity and excellence? It is irresponsible for schools to indoctrinate children on subjects that in many cases, they're even far too young to comprehend them. That is from CASEL.
I have honestly never, ever seen anything like that.
Get
from
on
the CASEL website.
CASEL.org, that's where it's at.
Would you spell that for me to make sure we're all talking about the same?
CASEL.
CSEL. Do you remember where on that website you found that information?
No, I do not.
Because
Because I
was
copied
very
and pasted it.
hard-pressed to believe that that came from this.
I'm just. Let me ask this, is there a problem with sending the parents a letter and saying, we would like to implement this program? Can you tell us if you want your kids in it or not? Because if you end up with 75% of the parents don't want their kids in the program, then you're wasting that money.
I think there has to be an educational component for the parents, because if, let's just say from this, I mean, we have pretty two polarizing difference in opinion here.
Mhm.
So, but where are the facts? So we would have to educate the parents on what it is. They would have to go in and look at the curriculum in order to see, is that something that I feel would be acceptable for my child to participate in, instead of just using, this is my overall belief that, you know, Moms of Liberty gave me or something, or.
And so we could certainly support that in providing opportunities for parents to come in and get some specific information about the program. And we can do that both synchronously and asynchronously, and make that available to the parents. So they can come in and look at it. We can host some things, we can record it and then post it on our website, so that all these things are available to our parents.
But they need to have all the pros and cons, not just the pros, which is what we just watched.
So
They
what I
need to know the
would
facts.
rather do is have them look through the lessons, actually look at the materials themselves, right? So I'm not asking them to buy off on my interpretation of what those are, but to actually look at the lessons. Come down, sit down and look through it with us. Make their own conclusions, and not things that have been pre-digested.
I think that's the only way to truly have them understand what they would be allowing their child to do or not allowing their child to do. Because if they don't truly understand it, they're not really making an informed decision.
Well, telling them they have to participate in it is not an informed decision either.
No.
If they
Because it's
tell
part of
them
their
they
curriculum.
cannot opt out, is not letting them have a choice.
So Christina, you said we have second step now, and we've had it for several years, based on the same principles?
Yes.
Have you ever had any parents complain about any lessons that their students got?
No, there's the same parent communication with those as well.
Then why are we changing it?
Because we found this one to be a lot more interactive. It has a strong secondary component that the students found to be more interesting, the teachers found to be more interesting, and it builds upon its lessons. There's a lot of variety in the types of lessons and how they're developed, and they're not just kind of sitting and talking through slides, which is how second step is right now.
This is what I don't understand. You're seeing all the controversy here already. It haven't even been discussed with parents yet.
If you look, this curriculum, from what I saw, was in over 3,000 schools. Like, so you have what?
Well,
How many lawsuits? And actually, I'm looking at something here. Somebody is mad because Character Strong didn't mention race.
I'm just
So-
reading what I
There
was
you are.
able to find,
Well,
checking it
give
out.
me 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I can find just as much on the other side that tells you it doesn't
Well,
talk about race or gender or anything
Then,
else.
then we'll take a vote on it.
I guess
Do
so.
whatever you want. I don't care.
Okay. Go ahead.
Thank you. It's unfortunate that we're in this predicament right now, and please, everyone, Dr. Redmond, the president, vice president, if administration or directors feel that they have something that's important, and for whatever reason, the school board committees aren't meeting, please let us know through Dr. Redmond or what, because if we, well, the curriculum committee might have vetted some of these things, and so you wouldn't be here at the 11th hour. The 11th hour always causes dissension and combative feelings.
Mhm.
So not having as many committee meetings, okay, this is a perfect reason why maybe we should, you need us, please let us know through Dr. Redmond or whatever. Okay, so that's over and said, okay. I'll be honest with you. I did a little bit of research and I read everything that you sent, and I am not in a position to make an educated decision on this tonight. I will say this. If we weren't at the 11th hour, and if I was on the curriculum committee, I would ask the other members of the curriculum committee to consider this. You know, like you've done already, you vetted with teachers, the principals, and then also vet it with the students, go through student council, you know, let them explore it, let the students partake in it, maybe a snapshot. But again, we're at the 11th hour, so
They
now I
already
don't
did that.
have that
They-
feedback.
The
They've
students
already
did
done that.
Yeah,
participate.
we did that with the teachers and the students. And that was in some of the materials that
The
Christina provided.
pies, okay, well, how many, I mean, was this like all the different grades, or was this just a snapshot of the high school kids?
No, and what you saw there, I believe it was
No.
who filled out the form. So 5th grade, 6th grade, and 8th grade filled out the form. 9th grade filled out a separate form. And the younger grades did it with their teachers, and their teachers gave verbal feedback.
Okay, so was how I misunderstood it, okay,
yeah.
all right. So you feel like you've had a good snapshot of a percentage of the kids and the teachers, and it's positive.
Yes.
Not universally positive, but generally, yes.
Just a snapshot.
But I mean, I was
snapshot,
honest, like I
okay.
put, like if they said it was boring, I put that in the comment. You know,
Okay,
so
so
you
all
can
those
see it.
comments,
Yep,
okay,
yep.
Like those are true student comments.
okay, of course they're true, I'm not, but now it makes, it's clearer to me, but
Yeah.
before I just didn't understand all those little lines, okay, thank you. Is this an option to think about? Like right now, again, I don't feel confident in making an educated yes or yay or nay. I'm like abstaining at this point because I don't have confidence in my knowledge of this. And it's not your fault. Okay, we're at the 11th hour here. If this is purchased and I see that then we have to, if the school board is, and the superintendent at the time wants to renew each one, there's a $2,000 charge for each school, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So if you add it all up, it's whatever that $2,000 times the amount of school buildings every year. So what if the school district purchased this software with the understanding that you and your team, Dr. Redmond, could give us maybe after the teachers are trained, do you think like 6 months or?
And you want an update?
Yes, like you could go back to the students, come back with some data, say, look, these are some things that we've seen, and these are some of the things that are challenging, or because by purchasing this, you know, if like a high percentage of the teachers and the principals aren't going to embrace it the way that you envision it, it's going to cause even more stress and chaos in our buildings possibly. So I'm concerned about that. Another layer on top of everything else that they're under. So I just don't know if that's going to increase that other layer on top of everything else that's going on right now. Of course, I realize all of these key principles we are desperately needing to work on. So again, right now, I can't, I wish there was more data, and I also wish that we had a chance to hear from a snapshot of these other public school systems that have been using it, because it sounds like this is a new thing.
It's been
And
around for several years.
Yeah, it's right. They were adopting it in Washington 10 years ago.
okay,
That's not a big recommendation.
Sorry.
You made a comment at the beginning of this, that this is something the parents should be doing. Are we taking over the role of the parent with this?
No, I think it's more of a partnership. You're doing it in collaboration. You're starting the conversation. You're having them practice these skills at home. You know,
Mhm.
there's a component where, you know, if your kid's frustrated at home, you might not know as a parent how to kind of give them alternate skills to do other than punching the wall or cursing at their mom. So it gives them tools to also practice at home. But I think it's more of a collaboration and a partnership. It's not something, again, we would just take over and fix it. That can't be a thing with anything that we do, because it would never, ever sustain.
I would like to see some more digging in on this, more investigation.
Okay, well, at this point, we have a motion and a
Ken,
second. Go ahead, Doc.
First of all, I'm sorry that I interrupted a couple of people.
No, that-
I spent a lot of time looking into this. Reviews were mixed. What I did notice that most of the positive reviews were closely associated with, what's it called? Character Strong itself. Most of the stuff that was elsewhere was very negative or mixed. There has been one lawsuit in Pennsylvania, which was settled, West Shore School District, which involved parents opting out. Read this up. And important in the settlement was that the school board had to pay legal fees for the plaintiffs. My opinion is simply that all our time should be devoted to teaching the kids academic things. They should be learning to read, write, do math. Okay. We don't have the greatest academic record. We're getting better and we're trying, and I appreciate that, what you're doing, but we're not in the top 10% yet. Should time be spent on things other than math and science and reading and writing? Shouldn't they be reading instead of some of this? And one of the places I said had one of the lessons up there that they did. It was ridiculous. They watched 3 videos in the lesson. I can't, and I apologize. I didn't write it down. I should have. I don't remember what the third video was. First video was about a guy that ran into Jerry West in an elevator. And he was a basketball fan, and how ecstatic he was about meeting Jerry West. Second video was a woman singing a god-awful song. It was just like, and it was 7 minutes long. And the third one was equally ridiculous. Now, is that an outlier? I don't know. You know, you're shaking your head. You don't know either. So, you know, if this is,
Yeah, I haven't
this is
seen
not,
anything like that.
this is not a good thing. I mean, you know, you mentioned something you called win periods.
Mhm.
Okay, now what are they being used for? And you said this could be fit into that, but what are they being used for now?
So WIN is used for a variety of different things at each level. It's about 30 some minutes at the end of the day. Intervention time for academics can happen during that time. Making up assignments can happen that time. Extra study time, and sometimes clubs meet during that time. So there's a different rotation of the schedule of what happens during when, especially at the middle school. And at the middle school, that's where they do their second step lessons now. So
Bill, just
Yes,
to
sir.
just to let you know, with that WIN program, my daughter actually utilized that. Okay, she was having problems with math, and she actually went to the math teacher
Okay.
during that
But
time
see-
period. And see, that's where she was getting extra education.
Right.
But
to
Roger,
help her
that's
bring
my,
her up to date.
that's my point.
That's- yeah.
If there,
So-
that sounds like a useful,
Right.
a positive use
Exactly.
of that time.
Now, with
This
this,
thing, I'm not so sure is such a positive use of that time.
And-
but it wouldn't be every day.
And, you know,
Yeah.
I think it was ridiculous. One of the statements in there that social emotional learning is as important as math and reading. I'm sorry, I can't buy that at all. Not at all, not an iota.
That's the great thing about America. You're
You
allowed
know,
to have that opinion.
It's, you know, we're here to teach them the skills they need, not necessarily the behaviors they need. And some of this stuff can be done. I'm sorry, again, I'm ancient, but things were different. We didn't have any of this stuff. We were expected to behave. And everybody's parents weren't, there was a variety of strictness on the parents and what they said, but it was simple. In school, you were told, this is the way you're gonna behave. And depends upon where you want to go. My first 4 years at Annunciation, you didn't behave. Sister Mary Misery got a yardstick or a wooden pointer, you know, and you got your attention.
unfortunately, we can't.
I
do
know,
that
I'm
now.
not saying. we
I
can, you
know, I know.
It's, but Mr. Menser, I'm Mr. Rickards, Mr. Menser, I can't remember the third guy's name now. I'm having a senior moment. You know, none of them were warm fuzzy characters. You didn't want to go visit with them very often.
Okay.
You know,
No,
and
and
that's,
most
it starts
employers-
in the classrooms. The
Mhm.
teachers need to enforce this. And if the kids are out of hand, don't tolerate it. Maybe instead of this program, you need more assistant principals as disciplinarians, you know,
Most
but-
employers don't care about feelings, and you're teaching these students that life is all about feelings. And when you go on a job site and the boss says, do this, and you say, no, I don't really want to, and he says, do it now, and throws a few words in there, and you go, you know, you're really hurting my feelings, he's gonna send you packing. And
It's not
this is that,
And, you know.
I mean, that's-
That's not what the
No.
curriculum
One
is
more
about.
thing to say, and it is simply, if we're already doing this with a different program, I think that's a bad idea and we should consider getting rid of that. But I'm clearly
Okay.
voting no, so, you know.
All right, so,
Can we?
all right, so at this point, we have a motion and a second on this, okay? I'd like a roll call vote on this, please.
Mr. Cannon,
no.
Mrs. Donahue,
I'm sorry, I'm kind of conflicting here. Like I'd like more information on it. I'd like to know more about it. I know that we're on a restricted timeline here, but I just don't feel like I don't want to vote no to it if the teachers feel that it's a good thing, but I don't want to vote yes to it if they like. I need more information from the people that have been dealing with it since they started this pilot program. I need to know more to give you a vote. So I don't know what you call it, abstain, I guess. I don't know.
Well, Polly, it'll
Yeah.
be either a yes or a no. The abstention is used for any conflicts of interest. That's
Okay.
what we use,
It can
so.
also be used. if you
Okay,
want
you're
information.
correct on that.
No, you can use it if it's also if you don't feel that you have a good basis to make a nay or a yay. You can use that to abstain also, Robert's rules. I may be wrong, if we could ask the solicitor, but that's what I read.
Well, I mean, I guess that's where I'm at with it is I would like some more information from the people who have used it. Do we have any teachers in the room right now that could speak up? Because I talked to one teacher and she was all for it. She felt that it was a good program and it went over well. Do we have any teachers or guidance counselors or anyone who uses this to give us some more insight on the importance of it?
So, Polly, we had in the information that was sent out in the last board meeting, some testimonials from teachers. I don't have that right at hand. Christina, do you recall or do you have that, that you can share?
KCSD teachers found that these lessons to be engaging and age appropriate for students. They believed that the lessons were valuable to their students and felt that the time it took for the lessons was valuable for them. That was a quote. Another quote was, one teacher felt that it was important to note that with all mental health concerns with children today, I feel that these lessons would be very effective in helping to build good character. And another teacher shared that, I think this is a better interactive version than what we currently have in second step 5 through 12. Or we don't have anything 5 through
You
8
have
through
any
12.
teachers that didn't agree with it?
That's what I was gonna ask.
No, the only negative feedback that I got from teachers was that sometimes the internet was clunky. I mean, I'm happy to share you with those results, the live results, so that you can see that that was their biggest complaint, was that it was clunky. And
Okay, well.
that was very few.
At this point, we are taking a vote. Okay, so at this point,
So Polly, I'm sorry for interrupting. Polly, you had asked a question if there's any, anything from teachers. So that's what we have at the moment.
Okay. I guess I'm sorry. I would have liked to hear more from more teachers. I have to vote no. I want to say I appreciate Christina though having a presentation available. I requested that she have something available since it wasn't a recommendation from our committee because we hadn't met to discuss it prior to this meeting, and I felt it was only fair that the entire board got to see what would have been presented before making a decision. So thank you, Christina, for doing that. You did a great job. It's just simply that I wish I would have had more time to think about it and more people to talk to about it. That's all.
Mr. Elton?
I'm actually feeling the same way with Polly. Okay. I would like to, whenever I was looking at this, I was like, okay, if I vote yay or yes, we can get this program for free. However, it does, and that means that we don't have to actually implement this. Okay, so we could get it, actually look into it, see what's going on with it, and if it to the board after looking into it, we can say yes, go ahead and start utilizing it. So what we could do is say yes, we will purchase this. However, whenever we're purchasing it, we're using the federal money to get it, but it doesn't mean that we actually have to implement. Is that correct?
That's not the way the motion is.
Well, the motion is to purchase this.
Yes. And the
Correct.
motion's already been made, so we have to vote.
So, all right. So basically what I'm looking at is yes, I will vote yes to purchase the program because we can get it for free. And then once we get it, that's whenever we can do the deep dive before we actually implement it.
But we're not getting it for free.
It's coming out of what
BCC.
all grant monies.
All grant money is still taxpayer funded money.
So
And
if
if we
It doesn't
don't
come
use
out,
it,
it does not come out of the,
if we don't use it, like Tom said, do we have to repay it?
But we just don't collect it. And somebody else uses it. it's not like it's a break for
Let's
tax.
go ahead,
Can we
let's
use
go
it
ahead
for
and do our
anything else?
voting.
I said yes. I say yes.
Is there anything else it can be used for?
No.
All right.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes, and I think that we're being really short-sighted here. This will be the same group that'll be complaining whenever kids are punching each other and creating fights and so on in the hallways, and we'll say, well, something should be done about this. Well, this program and, all the stuff, you can find anything you want on the internet, anything you want to spin, whatever you want it to spin. This has nothing to do with race. It has nothing to do with any of that stuff. It's trying to teach these kids some skills that they aren't learning anywhere at home. You have kindergarten kids coming in because they have no training at home. They're coming in and they're throwing chairs and they're cursing their teacher out because they have none of these skills because nobody teaches them. And we're sitting here saying that we don't want to teach this program because it's going to turn into CRT or DEI or any of the other stuff that's on Fox News. And that is not true.
Okay.
There's nothing in there. So my vote is yes.
Mr. Knopf?
Excuse me. First, Christine, I think that was an excellent presentation. Thank you very much for providing it to us. Kind of like Polly, I would have liked to had more time to digest this, but I'm going to vote yes.
Ms. Lynch?
No.
I agree with Polly. We need more time to
Yeah.
digest this. She explained it very much.
I do too.
At this point in time, I'm gonna vote no.
Yes.
Dr. Baldino?
No.
5 noes.
Okay, motion fails. Next.
Okay, we are down to item number J18. I make a motion that we approve the contract with Nittany Learning Services.
I second that.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Comments? Discussion?
Have we checked with any other districts, what other programs are out there?
The only other program in our region was just opened up in Williamsport, and it's a significantly higher cost, and they're limited seats.
I've heard mention that there's a lot of ties internally to KCSD staff. Is that true?
No,
Okay, because I know Christina is married to one of the owners.
right, and she makes no recommendations, has nothing to
Right.
do with placement.
Jeff Brinker's brother is one of the owners.
I don't know anything about that. And Jeff
And
Brinker
this
is
all-
not someone who's going to recommend anything.
This all relies back to what Elizabeth said one time about friends and family. That's why I'm wondering, is there anybody else in the ownership that is tied to KCSD?
So neither of the people you mentioned have any
Okay,
dealings with whether or not a student gets placed there.
is the program working?
Well, you heard testimonial last week
Yeah.
from. that
One
parent.
person? How many kids have been in it?
My son has been in there and he did fine. He helped
Okay.
immensely.
And the administrators also say that it's extraordinarily helpful.
Okay, I'm looking at all the options, nothing against. And I'll ask, but I just want to know facts because once again, there's so much controversy over it.
All right.
Did he miss the last vote?
No, he said no.
Okay.
Okay, next. Anybody else have any other comments?
I just like to express again that the board, hopefully the majority of the board at some point, it will discuss and then potentially offer to administration that we want just to get a presentation from a local regional school district via Zoom that already has their own in-house program. So we will have a chance to see what our other options are and to ask questions to school districts that already have it up and in-house. So we have to have Nittany Learning Services for this semester because from what I understand, there is no other option, correct? This is our only option, so we have to vote
Well,
yes.
actually, there is another option, but you're gonna be paying a lot more money and
Well,
have a
how much
lot
is a
less
lot more
seats.
Why
money?
hasn't this been brought to us?
Cause he
and-
just,
and
he just,
And
It was
this
just
is
open.
a recent development. This isn't
Yeah.
something it's happened in the last couple of weeks.
They're in the area, but they're not they're not approved yet for us to choose from. They
oh,
may
okay.
not be approved until the end of August, beginning of September. Their hope is to be approved at that point.
And if they aren't, then we're out of luck and we'll be at the point where we have to pay per seat.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. per
Right,
diem,
so again, we're stuck with no options because we didn't do our research.
No, it's not because we didn't have
Well-
any research, it's
What?
because there's no options.
Well,
There's no
no,
options.
this,
Well,
Well, no, I-
Yeah.
choices.
right, what I'm saying is I've brought this topic up before and other people have brought this topic up before. And the majority of the board have never felt committed to learning about how other school districts are doing their own in-house programs. So I'm hoping that this will spur that conversation so it can finally go somewhere. So we can really learn what our options are. So then next year, when we're back here sitting at this table having this exact same conversation, the board will have options.
Okay.
So can we start the presentation soon? So we will be prepared, because like right now, you're asking the board to make a vote when we have 0 options. And to me, that's unacceptable. So let's plan for the next year and not be stuck in the same boat again, please.
Okay, any other comments? No? Okay. Go ahead. Have a roll call vote, please.
Miss Donahue,
Yes.
Mr. Elling,
Yes.
Mr. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Knopf,
Yes.
Miss Lynch,
Yes,
Mr. Scott,
No,
Miss Smith,
Yes,
Dr. Baldino,
Yes.
Mr. Cannon,
No.
seven yes and 2 no.
Okay. Next.
Okay, last one, J20. This was the one that was added, and I don't know whether you want me to repeat it.
I make a motion to pass.
Okay, I got a
second it.
motion,
I second it.
got a second. Okay, discussion.
No.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, motion passes.
Everything else was passed, correct?
That is correct.
Motion
I
to
make the
adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
Okay, got a motion to adjourn. Get a second?
Second.
Adjourn.
Go cut.